Coach, appreciate you taking the time, and first of all, congratulations on the huge win over Hammond, and as we said going into it last week, the biggest regular season game in Skeeza history. You came out, won the game 31-21, and you are still undefeated on the year, and frankly, going into this game, because of the success of both programs this year, the winner of this game's head coach was going to be our Coach of the Week this week. So you have earned that with the win over Hammond. You're the Crescent Construction Coach of the Week here in the Midlands. And talk a little bit about the preparation for all the preparation that you put in for the game. A lot of times things don't turn out the way you would like, but gosh, even though I know there's some things to clean up, bottom line is your kids responded like you wanted them to with a convincing victory.
It was a great atmosphere. What high school football is all about. Two great teams. I don't think either team played to the top, to the level they want to play at, but hey, our kids responded, made plays when it matters, and, we end up coming out of a win and got to keep building to what we want to be.
Obviously, I have to talk to you about Bryce, because that performance, not just running the football, that all-around performance was truly one for the record books. 2 caused fumbles, a blocked field goal, a pick six, and 233 yards on 15 carries, including a 99-yard touchdown run and a 71-yard touchdown run, where literally it seemed like a magic trick on that play. On film, it doesn't look possible, and somehow he comes out of a pile of Skyhawks, a group of Skyhawks that had him surrounded, and run 71 yards for a touchdown. Tell me from a coaching perspective what it was like over there watching this kid do the things that he did last Friday.
It makes you look really smart. Number one, he makes us look like a better coaching staff. But I mean, we in practice when we line Bryce up and he runs the football, we always talk about we thought we saw a hole, and we got to be real quick to think. Don't matter what we see; it matters what Bryce Thompson sees, and he can see it a little bit different. I think the game slows down for him. He's a very, very knowledgeable of the game of football. He remembers every little detail, which makes him have a lot of gamesmanship, and he's very developed as a player athletically, but also mentally in a football game. He can kind of take over. He knows what's going to happen before it happens, and it has great anticipation. But, I mean, he's a great football player. And, and what I'm more proud about than anything, he's such a humble young man now. I mean, he calls me, he loves his offensive line, he loves his other guys, and realizes he's just another part of this team, and that's probably bigger than anything else he does. Is sometimes, in a world we see our superstars, get special treatment stuff. He's actually trying to put himself under someone else. And that's really one of the principles we want to teach our kids.
And you told me you did not suggest to him that he interviewed today with his offensive line. You said that he insisted to you that he do it with his offensive line. And to me, that says a whole heck of a lot about a kid.
Yeah, I mean, the guy knows, as an offensive lineman, we got to have those guys. Those guys make us go, and, they don't get a whole lot of recognition. So when you're running back who has a big night that night, step forward and wants to put those guys on a platform, I mean, they deserve it, but also you love to see that out of a guy. The state paper said something about Thompson and the Falcons take down Hammond. I mean, he calls me and asks me, he said, Lou does a great job, but he said, can we not get them to write that? Can it be the Falcons? And I said, we'll try to get on that. But I mean, that's great to see when a guy like that has a big night actually wants to promote his other teammates and step back.
You have Porter Gaud coming up this tomorrow, actually, and a team that's very talented from what I understand, and very scary from what I understand. A lot of ability down there. Coach, how have you approached that game with the kids to make sure that it's one thing for kids to say, oh yeah, we understand that it's about it's a trap game, but this one really is, isn't it? I mean,
I don't know if it's as much as a trap game. It's got some implications on trap game, and I think they're just a darn good football team that can come in and whoop our tails. And we got to play better than we did last week to have a chance. I'm just being honest. They're very good. They're explosive on offense. They're decent. They're a lot better improved on defense. And we didn't play out extremely well. But also, I told our kids, everyone's telling us how good we are this week. I said, but remember, last week nobody picked you. Nobody wanted you to even be picked to win this game over here, and it happened. So don't believe the hype, and remember what got us here. And I said, if you want all this to go away and all the people to say I told you so, just don't play well this week, and don't play well, and you'll see how many people really love you. So our kids, we take that one game and want them to know that we still want to play with a little bit of chip on our shoulder.
Tell me about, and this is with a full recognition that Bryce is committed and really loves Virginia Tech. We know that, but I'm curious from the perspective of, obviously he's only a junior, and every school commitments are not binding. So tell me a little bit, because I know that the fans of local football are asking this all the time. Like, well, who else is? Tell me some of the schools that still have interest in him.
He has a lot of schools that have interest. Number one, I'm a high school coach in the state of South Carolina. I think it's absurd that neither South Carolina or Clemson have offered this kid. And I'll say that. I think it's absurd. I mean, I think he's as good as I've ever seen, and I think both these schools need to jump on it. Both of them talk about they want to recruit the in-state. I mean, here's one right here that you need to recruit. Other than that, we know he's had some Bama contacts. We've had Auburn. We've had Georgia. We've had Florida State. We've had SMU. I mean, we got them all over. I mean, he should draw that kind of attention. But, personally, from a coach inside the state of South Carolina, I think both our primary schools need to jump all over him.
How proud are you, lastly, of the fact that, as Bryce said, yeah, he scored the touchdowns and he had the gaudy statistics, which he earned, but we all know that one guy doesn't win a football game ever under any circumstances. And how proud are you of the whole rest of the team, the whole Falcon unit, that in their own way all contributed, and again, the most hyped game for sure, and probably the biggest regular season game in SCISA history.
Well, we'll start with our kicker. I mean, our kicker made a big-time field goal, kicked in the end zone. That helps us a lot when we hadn't been great on kickoff coverage this year. Our defensively, just to name a few, I mean, Garrison Moore had a humongous game. Tyler Estridge, I mean, we had some defensive linemen like Tiger Fan step up. DBs, even though you see all the yards, we played a lot off because we got a lead and we wanted to end the game. But, offensive line, hey, those guys were a question mark coming if we could block those guys, and they did their job. Receivers made some big-time catches, and our quarterback managed the game very well. So, I mean, overall, but, let's also talk about our coaches. So, our assistant coaches did an outstanding job of game planning and doing what we want to do, and our kids have bought in our culture, and it was just a great night overall.
And last thing, shout out to the atmosphere, because we kind of hyped that up and we talked to you last week, because this place has a special atmosphere for a high school football game, and man, oh man, did it ever live up to it.
It was great. I mean, Hammond brought a great crowd. We had some people come out. We probably had some people just wanted to see what Ben Lippen and Hammond were about. What's the SCISA football about? Anytime we can put our league on a platform, why not a better thing for both schools?
And I want to say this from personal experience. Boy, you guys had a heck of a spread going on over there on the track. You guys have got some good cooks among your parents and concession stand people, because it was top notch all the way around, man.
Great.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
And again, you are the well-deserving Crescent Construction Midlands Coach of the Week, Coach Derek White, right here at Ben Lippen.
Thank you.